is your first memory of the Verdugo Hills golf course?
All right, my first memory of the Verdugo Hills golf course was less than a year ago when my dad and I were golfing at a Los Feliz golf course, and we were recommended by my 6th grade teacher to go here and visit the teacher Chan, and from then we started taking lessons with him and we fell in love with the course. And my first memory was hitting balls on the driving range, actually just a few days after we were recommended to go here by my 6th grade teacher, and we've been going here every week since, for about a year.
And you come with your dad?
Mm-hmm. I come with my dad every week.
So what do you think? Why do you come here?
I come here because the people here are fantastic, it's a great atmosphere, and the course is really fun to play.
That's a great answer. And what do you think you'll miss the most?
What I'll miss the most when this course is gone are definitely all the people. Chan especially, he's been fantastic and he's taken me really far in my golf game. That's been fantastic.
You're the next Masters winner, aren't you? You're a Cub fan, that's a good thing. What was the best thing about the Cubs winning the World Series?
The best thing about the Cubs winning the World Series was it's been 108 years, and there are actually 108 stitches on a baseball, so it was the perfect time for them to win.
That's right. This is perfect. You're great. I love a Cub fan. So you mentioned, well, where do you think you'll go now?
I have not figured out where I'm going to go next. We'll probably go back to Los Feliz, but I don't know. All these good golf courses are going away. It's sad to see that.
Our parents would drop us off here when we played golf. Probably 1966, I would think, basically.
That's amazing. And what's your first real memory of Verdugo Hills Golf Course?
I would say my lasting memory of this place is we actually had golf PE at La Cañada High School, and so we would fly over here in the morning, play 9 holes, and then we could get back to school for the first break and then start going to class, basically. So that was another era when they would let the kids off campus, basically. So that was a lot of fun. Back in my high school days, mid-70s, there was a vending machine on Foothill Boulevard in Ocean View that would dispense full-size ice blocks for a couple quarters. So basically our group, which was pretty large, would get the ice blocks, and then we needed a big grassy hill from there to slide down at night. So obviously the 17th and 8th here, which is a pretty steep incline, we would bring the ice blocks, basically sneak in, and then basically whoever had enough nerve would sit on one of those ice blocks and slide down the grassy hill at about, I don't know, probably 40 miles an hour before you came off and took about 5 or 10 tumbles down the hill. And it was great fun until we got chased out of here for doing that. So we weren't supposed to be on the grounds. But
How do you steer that thing?
You don't, yeah. You basically just go with gravity.
My first memory of this place was my dad in 1976 took me here to play my first round of golf. I was in 8th grade. Grew up around this area, and my dad was an avid golfer, and he took me here to hit balls for the first time and kind of wean me into real golf by playing golf on a par 3 golf course, a beautiful golf course like this.
Sure. I mean, it really is exceptional. Do you have like a favorite day, like a best day or a best accomplishment?
Best accomplishment here?
Maybe like, or if something happened that was fun.
I think my best accomplishment here was joining the men's club in 1994. It turned into a lifelong friendship with a lot of people. Back in the early 90s, our men's club, it dwindled throughout the years, but we would have 50 to 60 players every other Sunday. People from the ages of 90 years old all the way down to 18. It was very diverse. It was diverse as far as what type of people played here. And it was just a real lot of fun. And it just cemented lifelong friendships that still, to this day, are very important to me.
That's great. But let me ask you, why do you think you come here?
Again, for the camaraderie of those people that I've met and the beauty of this place. This is one of the nicest par 3 golf courses that were ever made. It's not flat, it's interesting, it's difficult, it's in a beautiful area, and it's kind of like a getaway from real life. You can come here. And plus, this place has always been a family place. You can take your kids here. It's always been a family-oriented type of place. On the weekends when you're not working, you can bring your wife, your husband, your kids here and have a great time.
That's a great answer. What are you going to miss most about it?
The people, the guys in the men's club. As a matter of fact, you know what I also miss is in the 90s, our men's club, we would have tournaments with the women's club here. And I really missed that because that was a lot of fun. I remember every year I would hook up with this 85-year-old lady that would hit the ball a ton and just knock it into the hole and one putt every green. And we would have, and it was for charity. I don't remember what the charity was, but that's one of the things I really miss about that is we hooked up with the women's club and did a lot of good and had a lot of fun.
That's great. Where do you think you're going to go now?
I don't know. A place like this, I don't see any other places like this right now. So, probably nowhere. There's no other golf course or establishment like this that is the same. This was a very, very special place. So, probably my local bar.
Go golf somewhere else and go drink somewhere else.
Go golf somewhere else, go drink somewhere else, yeah.
Well, I think it's great. I just was wondering if you know anything about the history of the course before it was a golf course? Have you heard any of that or any stories about that?
Yeah, I think it's well known that it was a Japanese internment camp many years ago. I believe it was after that, they did a lot of different things, I think Boy Scouts and stuff like that. But it is famous for being a Japanese internment camp for a short while.
And what would you want to say to this place for the one last time?
Thanks for the memories, thanks for the great times, and thanks for all the great friends that I've met. Thank you so much. I'm going to miss it very much.
I've been coming up here for maybe 45 years. I think I might have been in 7th grade when I was at Wilson Junior High. And I think I started playing golf here.
How old do you think you were?
How old? 12? 13 maybe?
Well, and then what year was that?
73?
So Nixon hasn't resigned yet.
Not yet. Or no, he had already resigned maybe.
All right. That was a summer to golf, and then Watergate was on. There's nothing but Watergate on TV all summer.
I wasn't paying attention.
What do you have a best game or a best day here at the course?
I'm not a very good golfer, but I've had some good days. I've got very close to a couple holes and hole-in-one, so I was pretty proud of that. The most I'm going to miss is not seeing a lot of guys that they will go their different ways. A little bit of golfing, a little bit of putting, and the memories.
Well, probably when I was a kid, before the Frisbee golf course wasn't here, my dad and my stepdad would take me here, when I was real young, swinging the golf clubs and stuff. That's my first actual memory. That was probably about, say, let's see, I'm 34 now, so probably about 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Okay. So since the early 90s, huh?
Yeah, yes.
And when did you start Frisbee golfing here?
About 4 years ago, started Frisbee golfing.
Aren't you supposed to call it disc golf?
Disc golf, Frisbee golf, frolf, there's all kinds of names for it.
Frolf?
Frolf, yep. I was recently in Montana for 2 weeks, and that's what my cousins out there were calling it. They're calling it frolf. That was the first time I ever heard it.
Great. So this might seem simple, but why do you come here?
I mean, obviously, number one, I come here to Frisbee golf. I come here, football games, the food's good, the people are good, locals I've met from being here for so long, everybody's nice and kind. It's a good way to get some exercise in, get outdoors, so.
That's great. What do you miss most?
What I miss most when this place leaves?
Yeah.
Obviously the Frisbee golfing, and then another fun atmosphere that Cresenta, Tahunga, Sunland, whatever city you want to call it, that has taken away from us. It's like, and they want to put up new homes, so, I'm going to miss coming here, Frisbee golfing,
That's a great answer. Do you think they should name a street after me?
After me?
No, after me.
Oh.
Because I'm making this film, I think I should get a street named after me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you sure?
So, where are you going to go now?
Well, where am I going to go now? I'm fortunate living close to 3 Frisbee golf courses, so I can go to La Cañada and play, and then go to Silmar and play. But this one was actually the closest to the house, and it was a lot more convenient than going to the other 2 places.
They don't have a burger and a beer at
I know, right? Yeah, you're not even allowed to have beers down there.
Have you heard about its history very much?
Not necessarily. No, I have not heard about its history.
Okay. And let's see. This kind of doesn't make sense for me to ask you this then, but I will anyway. So, can you name a historical fact about Verdugo Hills Golf Course that no one else knows? And you can make it up if you want.
Wow.
I heard there's monkeys on the 7th hole.
Well,
Have you seen monkeys?
if I drink enough, I'll probably see a few. Something historical. Well, we had a crow. We had a crow that was a friend that would cruise around, attack people, eat everybody's food, go through their bags, golf bags, look for lighters, look for phones, mess with your stuff. But
What happened to the crow?
I'm not sure. There's mixed stories what happened to the crow, but we're just saying he flew away with his family somewhere else.
1933, that's when FDR's, one of his best programs really, was with the young people and opened up the camps, the CCC camps, Civilian Conservation Corps. And I think it was between, you could join if you're between 17 and 25 or 27. And you joined in like 6-month elements, and you could repeat, you could stay for a year or longer. And was the first camp was really 1933. They were using all the barracks and ECC camps for World War I Army barracks. The whole camp is really just a reproduction. Because they had the plans, they knew how to build in a hurry. But they would come out and they would hire local help because that was part of, jobs during the Depression. And the CC camp started before actually they were done, so they helped finish building the camp. They were living in tents, army tents. And there were 3 CCC camps up in Tujunga. Another one was up in Big Tujunga Canyon and eventually flooded out in the mid-30s. And then there was one right up against the bottom of the San Gabriel Mountains. But this was really one of the most important. And what they did, they built all of FDR had an agreement with private enterprise. He would not have these CC boys in competition with private enterprise. So they worked with parks. They always worked with parks, whether it was local or national parks. So they built all the roads and the trails, the fire towers, the water towers, everything that we grew up with in the Big Tujunga Canyon. They built a road from here to Glendale or Burbank. So that's what they did. And at the same time, some of them, they were, high school age. Originally they went to high school in Glendale, but in 41, I believe, 40 or 41, they started going to Verdugo. And you'll find some pictures in the school annual, double spread of the camp. That's the only pictures I've ever seen as a CCC camp. 902 was the last camp here. After Pearl Harbor, actually all the camps are being depleted, and they would shift people into another camp that had enough until they eventually closed all of them, because all the young men really joining the Army or the Navy, whatever, or the jobs were available now because the war effort. A lot of factories were hiring. So the young people were leaving these camps, and part of the purpose of the camp was these kids young men, I should say, made $30 a month. But they had their board and room, everything, clothes, everything. But they only kept $5. Part of the plan was they sent $30 back to their parents because they were in just as bad a shape. The whole family was in bad shape. So they supported their families a great deal. After Pearl Harbor, during this period, something else was going on with FDR and the government, the FBI. Starting in '39, they were investigating Japanese, Germans, and Italians in Southern California, all the West Coast, really. So when Pearl Harbor happened, they already knew where the suspects were, and most of them were Japanese, probably 90% or more were Japanese, even at this camp, but in general. So on December 7th, they were out arresting that night, mostly Japanese. They just went to their house, they knew where they lived, picked them up, put them in jail, and then the jail transferred them up to Tuna camp. The first load I know, a lot of them were held temporarily. Actually, Merrill Scott, who was the camp director, almost the whole time until just a month or so before it closed, and by then all the prisoners were gone. He was the officer in charge, and he was a career officer in INS. And so he'd come up here on the 7th of December, and on the 8th they officially opened it, but you had an open camp. They had all the buildings, but they didn't have any lookout towers. They didn't have 10-foot fences with barbed wire and floodlights all along the fence line, all the things you need for a prison camp. And so they were, and the first load came in on the 16th of December. They really weren't finished. Actually, it was with the help of the Japanese they finished this camp.
What's your first memory of this golf course?
Golfing.
When?
20 years ago, 25 years ago. First time started golfing.
And you remember like a best day or a favorite day or a great game?
Every day. I love golfing.
It's pretty hard not to like California weather and a little greenery and some suds afterwards.
Everything here. We have the best place where we live right here.
So why do you think you come here?
It's just, we're close to the only little place we have here. I don't want to drive 20 miles to go away from close to my house. All of our friends are right here. We want to stay here.
What do you think you're going to miss the most?
That's the main thing. If this is gone, what do we have? There's nothing here.
I have some great memories here, and to go back, I remember I was in 5th grade, and I played with Don O'Neill, lived up on the hill over here, which just happened to be lived next to a Beach Boy, one of the Beach Boys, the guy with the red beard. And so we would walk down, and I was in 5th grade, 1975, and we just had a great time. We played and had a root beer and ate chips, and it was one of my earliest memories of this course, you know. It means a lot to me.
And what is like one of the best games you ever had or the best day you ever had?
I'm glad you mentioned that. The best days was just, honestly, I mean, besides winning pars and skins and, you know, winning, it's just meeting friends, you know, so. I have to say that I met a lot of friends here. There is definitely a lot of misfits in this area, and you just learn to accept them, and they turn out to be really good friends. So that's what I enjoyed about that. But one of my high points, if you're asking, was winning the 2000 men's club, and that was hard because there's a lot of sharks down here, and this place has a reputation for a lot of people playing good par threes. They're pretty much robots down here. So I did bring a trophy, knowing this was the last day.
Brought some hardware with you?
Yeah, I have a.
Now hold on, let's get that up. Bring it up. Bring
Okay,
it up.
it's coming. It's coming. There's a little dust on it, but it's
Tell me
the.
what you got there.
This is the 2000 men's club trophy for first place men's club. I played 3 rounds on 3 different Sundays, 5 over par, and I'm proud of that. As I play a lot of golf everywhere, and to beat some of these sharks down here was pretty memorable. And not only did I win the club championship, I won the 2000 putting championship, which is a series of putts, and this is what I'm proud of because. I really enjoy putting, and like I said, there's a lot of sharks out here that can really putt, and it was fun beating them. But most of all, just making friends, and like I said, with the misfits, everybody has a problem here or a problem there. People come here, they make friends. They leave drunk, they leave happy, they leave pissed off. But that's golf, and it was just a great experience. This place meant a lot to me.
I'm a newbie. I've only been coming here about maybe a year and a half. Leo's sports bar nearby closed down. And a lot of my friends from there had already been coming here, and they told me, it's the best burger in the foothills, you gotta come by. So I was searching for the best burger in LA, and I thought, well, I gotta try it. And so I did, and it was good. I'm not sure it's the best burger in LA, but it's up there. It's at least top 3. And, but you know, the TVs, they got the TVs, we watched football, we had the putting green, it's beautiful, the wind comes down and blows around, and it's cool back there, and so I just was attracted by the camaraderie and the fun place that it was.
Of course. My first memory, I played here years and years ago, probably 20 years ago, maybe once a year, not a big golfer. But I got my son involved, and you know, it's like that Tiger Woods thing. You know, you want your kid playing golf, and I brought him here. He was probably 5 years old. He started taking lessons, and he became pretty much a golf fanatic. Played for the St. Francis golf team, and so that's kind of my big memory is probably with my son, is turning him into a golfer.
It really is a regional amenity that is heavily used by all of the neighboring communities. And the fact that it is a par 3 18-hole course means that it's much easier for parents to teach their kids how to golf. It's easier to have an educational type of environment. On the whole, it's just all more laid back and easier to deal with than a lot of large municipal golf courses are. And the fact that it also has a disc golf course, I think helps make it attractive to a wider audience. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but the very first disc golf course in the United States is only a few miles to the east of here, over in the Arroyo Seco near JPL.
My name is Sharon Weisman. I'm part of V.O.I.C.E, and I've been concerned about this golf course for at least 10 years, trying to save it as a recreational asset for the young people in the Crescenta Valley. There's, as the years go by, more and more places where young people can have some safe activity are disappearing. You know, the bowling alley's gone from Foothill, and so much is gone. And at the same time, there's more and more development. And we know the Canyon Hills project was approved many years ago. It hasn't started yet, but that's 240 some homes just up the street a bit. And we're very concerned with more traffic, pollution, all that sort of things, at the same time losing this valuable open land. And once it's gone, you can never get it back.
Okay, so I am on the board of V.O.I.C.E, which is an acronym for Volunteers Organized in Conserving the Environment, and our main purpose is to preserve open spaces in the Glendale-Cresenta area. And over the past 12 years, our main victim has been the Verdugo Hills golf course. Our main effort has been towards preserving the golf course. And so even if we can't preserve the golf course as it is, we definitely want to preserve it as an open space. We have felt that it has been viable to preserve as a golf course, and the regional park plan that's posted on the V.O.I.C.E's website is really an ingenious combination of recreational and open space and water recirculation purposes. So it can remain as a golf course, but even if the owner decides not to keep it as a golf course, cheeseburger and onion ring. We are dedicated and to keeping it as an open space, as a preservation effort for our community. It's been here for 50 years. Okay, LA County would be willing, we've been told on numerous occasions by Supervisor Antonovich's office, that they would be interested in perhaps running this course as a junior golf program, so that they would be heavily invested. They would be partners with LA City in maintaining this area as a golf course, not just open space. So there is a commitment from LA County. The problem is the golf course doesn't lie right in LA County, and so it's LA City that has the jurisdiction and the control over what goes on here more so than, or they have to control what goes on here rather than LA County.
Now, this might be a stupid question, but LA City's in LA County.
Right. Well, that's why LA County is devoted to partnering, but it's LA City that it's actually in the jurisdiction of. You're right.
Okay, so you have explained to us or made us feel that there's some hope.
For the golf course. Well, there's always hope, and V.O.I.C.E has been here from the beginning, willing to partner with and work with the current owner, developer. The owner-developer has said he's a willing seller if the price is right, and we have worked very hard to craft different scenarios wherein that might work. And so far, it hasn't been viable, according to him, but he has lately said that he's a willing seller, and so V.O.I.C.E is very eager to work with him, and if he means what he says, then we're happy to help get an appraisal done of the property. So our arms are outstretched to work with the owner-developer. He has indicated that the golf course is closing on December 31st, and so that makes us question his dedication to keeping the golf course open and to the community. But even if it goes just a closed golf course, V.O.I.C.E is going nowhere. We are continuing the fight to keep this as an open space, as a beautiful part of this community that's so necessary.
So where do you think you'll go now?
Where do you think I'll go?
Yeah.
Home to my wife? Yeah.